So today I thought I would take a look at some of the many brochures which I got from the NEC. There's also a bit of a sneak preview of a future upcoming video of this beast. Anyway, what are we looking at today? We are looking at the N16 Almera, so the Nissan Almera N16. Which was on sale from 2000 to 2006, roughly, in the UK. Please ignore the coffee stain, I couldn't be bothered to clean it up. So, this particular brochure dates from, let's see if we can find a date for it, 2003. So this would be sort of midway through the Almera N16's existence, and this would be probably one of the first facelifted models. Now, if you're familiar with the channel, or if you're new to the channel, you'll know that I am I wouldn't say a huge fan, but I don't dislike this particular car. I think they're not as nice as, say, an Astra G, for example, which is a much nicer car, but they do exactly what they say on the tin, and if you look after them, they're generally reliable. They're easy to service, the parts are fairly cheap, and you can get a lot of repair panels for them, especially sills, front cross member, etc. All the main areas where they tend to rot. But they were a bit of a cost-cutting exercise for Nissan when compared with the earlier N15, which arguably was a much nicer, much better car. The N16 was a bit of a disappointment, although it did, you know, sort of follow the latest trends and fashions, and did introduce arguably some more refinement into the range, but it was a real cost-cutting exercise with sort of very cheap materials inside which would sort of wear fairly quickly, especially seat covers. The foam under the seat covers, certainly on the earlier ones, would disintegrate and the cover would rub through the the frame of the seat would actually rub through the cover, which was a bit unsightly. It can be repaired, as I have done myself on my mother-in-law's Almera, but it's just one of those things you don't see on a comparable Astra. However, one big thing that the facelift model did bring is this. So this touchscreen system was carried over from the P13 Primera, a car itself which was based or shared a platform with the Renault Laguna. Around the time this was developed and released, Nissan was very much in bed with Renault, hence why there was a raft of cost cutting, and hence why the traditional Nissan name is not really the same as it once was. But over the original, this particular facelift was an improvement, and you could argue it had a lot of showroom appeal, especially with this DVD navigation system, and the fact that you had this screen here to control the major functions of the car itself. So it's quite interesting the way that it worked. So you had basically this toggle switch. On lesser models you had a monochrome style display which would allow you to control radio and heating and ventilation, so you actually got climate control from SE grades and above. It was known as N-Form, which was Nissan's intelligent control system, and as I say, it was a carryover from the P13 Primera. It didn't work quite as well in the Almera, but it still worked okay. And the fact that you got satellite navigation standard on the top models was something that comparable manufacturers didn't actually have at the time. Their sat-nav was usually always an option. No, this isn't a convertible, this is just showing the interior without any windows or anything of that in the way. In this case it looks like a 3-door version. But you had nice little touches. And this is the thing that sort of not wins me over, but I think, yeah, that is nice. I mean, the dash may be a horrible lump of scratchy plastic, but you do get these nice cup holders. There is a little compartment underneath the cup holders, which allows you to store coins and other things. It's technically an ashtray, but you can use it for coin storage, etc. You do get a sun visor, a sunglasses storage thing, and you get this takeaway hook or a curry hook on the passenger side, which flips up and allows you to attach takeaway bags to, or anything that you don't want spilling over. So although it was a car that had sort of consisted of mainly sort of quite cheap materials, there were a lot of nice touches, and those kind of balance out. Plus, it isn't actually that bad to drive. It's a nice car to drive. It's by no means the last word in sporting excellence or comfort, but it's comfortable enough on the motorway, and certainly in the Almera I've done quite a few miles in one go when I was borrowing it for work purposes, and it was absolutely fine. It was fairly economical, pulled about sort of 44 to the gallon from the 1.5. It certainly wasn't quick, but it would sit at 70 very happily, just turning over at 3,000 RPM, so it wasn't screaming at all. And on the whole, it wasn't actually that bad a car, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. And the facelift just sort of built upon that sort of boring yet sturdy principle. Plus, in the facelift form, it doesn't actually look too bad. I mean, they're not a bad looking car, really. I think over the years, the looks have grown on me a bit more now that you don't see them every day. But certainly for the time, they were bang up to the minute. But yeah, there were better options, let's say. So in the facelift version, you actually had air conditioning across the range. So the S, which was the base model, you would get air conditioning, whereas on the previous pre-facelift you didn't get. You did get air conditioning on the S model. You didn't get air conditioning on the grade below S, which was E, and on those you got absolutely nothing apart from possibly electric windows. The SE adds the N-form screen, the SVE adds the sat-nav, and the SXE, and I never actually realised this, is a trim level above the SVE. I always thought the SVE was a trim level for 1 year, and then the SXE was a trim level top of the range for another year. I didn't realise that they were both sold as one above the other. So on the SXE, you get, what do you get in addition? Oh, you get everything. So you get the electronic stability program. You get. Do you get the ultrasonic park system? I'm not sure. You get some different seat styling. You get a few other little bits and pieces from a body styling perspective. And your options are the electric tilt and slide sunroof. These were the colours that were available for the facelift, certainly for the first year, so 2003. And there are quite a nice range of colours, actually. That's one thing. They did have, always had a real sort of good range of colours available, whereas other manufacturers were sort of quite limited in the range of colours that they had available for the consumer. I quite like this quartz blue and catalpa green, if I'm going to be honest, but also Aruba blue is quite pleasant as well. And all of them, apart from Arctic White and Flame Red, were either pearlescent or metallic colours. These were the body options and dimensions, so you could get it in the saloon form as well. You don't see many of those. You tend to see more of the 5-door hatchbacks, which I'd say is probably the most popular, closely followed by the 3 doors. But you did get various different sort of seat trim options. You can see here that the SE, SVE and SXE have actually got more adjustments on the seats, but the base model S doesn't have much in the way of adjustability. Performance wasn't really anything to write home about, but it was okay. Compared to its competitors, it had quite a limited range of engine options, 1.5 litre and 1.8 litre petrols, and a 2.2 litre diesel engine in a couple of states of tune, 112 brake horsepower and 136 brake horsepower. Little fact, before the introduction of the R30, I want to say R35 Nissan GTR, the Skyline, this was the most powerful Nissan model imported into the UK, so or the fastest Nissan model imported into the UK. I don't know how true that is, but that's something I read somewhere. Came with a 6-speed gearbox as well, which was quite nifty. Something about the Nissan commitment and after-sales support. 3-year or 60,000 mile warranty, which was bang on trend for the time. 3-year paint, and that's bloody good. A 12-year anti-corrosion warranty. I'm not sure how many people actually managed to claim on that, seeing as the front cross members would tend to rust out before that 12-year figure. A few more sort of various images of the car, a few more lifestyle shots, something about ESP and not having ESP and having ESP. More lifestyle shots, because you love life, apparently. Apparently the airbags, safety, a pillow fight for whatever reason. More lifestyle shots. I really don't know why. They don't really seem to be focusing on the car. Well, they are, but they're more focusing on the lifestyle that the car provides you access to, rather than the car itself. I mean, there was a short bit about, well, these are your model options, and then the rest of the brochure's just padded with some people having a pillow fight. Although it does focus here more on the car, with the alloy choices and the selection of mats that you can get, so that's always nice. Don't think I've ever seen those in the wild, and I've certainly never seen those in the wild either. They're a particularly nice style, and you probably go into your Nissan dealer at the time and say, I really like these wheels. Oh, sorry sir, they're not available on UK models. Yeah, well, thanks for that, that's great. Just no words, really. Some bloody dandelion seeds and the saloon version in Catalpa Green or whatever it was. And that's the end of the brochure. That was odd. So it starts off with lifestyle stuff. It even has a contents page. That's a contents section. Never seen that before. Lifestyle. Open thing. Actually talking about the car. Talking about the car. Talking about the car. Talking about the car-ish. Lifestyle. Talking about the car. Talking about the car. About the car. About the car. About the car. Still about the car. About the car. About the car. Lifestyle. Lifestyle. Open lifestyle. Have fun. Be sexually attractive to the opposite sex. Have pillow fights with this lady. Lifestyle stuff. Lifestyle. Live your dream. Living your best life, or whatever they say these days. Living the dream. And the dream is over. And there you go. That is that brochure. What have I just read? Anyway, really genuinely, sincerely hope you have enjoyed this, the most amazing brochure in the world for a car which, in fairness, is all right. I don't have anything against it. I quite like them. There are better options out there, but it's all right. For car purposes, it does exactly what it says on the cover. I'm not sure if you'll discover a new energy. That's probably something they've been trying to do at the Large Hadron Collider for a number of years, but you will get yourself from A to B and possibly C. And there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and see you soon.